We are live. So what's up, Josh? I'm looks like we're going to review the Genesis platform here today. Before we jump in, let's just go ahead and do an introduction here. My name's Colt Strissel. I'm the Senior Relationship Manager with ServingIntel. I've been with the company for going on 14 years, I think, this year. Go ahead, Josh, tell us about yourself.
I am one of the RMs here over the East Coast. My name's Josh. But yeah, we're going to be going over the Genesis platform with you all today.
Yeah, good point. One thing I forgot to mention is I'm the Relationship Manager for the Western part of the United States. Josh mentioned he's on the East Coast. He lives in North Carolina, Josh, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm out in Colorado in the mountains. So yeah, without further ado, I mean, we'll just kind of talk about the Genesis platform a little bit here before I share my screen. We took our cloud platform that we're using right now and transitioned that into what we call the Genesis platform. And that is more so focused on the entire senior living operation. You know, we call ourselves the senior living operating system now, as opposed to just kind of the dining operations, the point of sale, the resident billing side of things. It's more so pretty much everything from the front door to the back door, as Lance likes to say. So anything from census being the front door all the way through reporting as being your back door, or through the business office, if you will. And then everything in between, like recipes, inventory, housekeeping module, salons, things like that. We can manage it all. So anywhere there's a transaction taking place or data flowing in the community, we can manage that and kind of appropriate that in any way that we see fit or that is needed for the community as far as their operation goes. So without further ado, with that said, I'm going to share my screen and we'll just kind of walk through some of the modules here and explain some of the differences versus what we're doing now in the ServingIntel Cloud Control versus what we see here in the Genesis platform. Go ahead and stop me, Josh, with any questions, or if you have something to add. As you can see right here, I've got the URL, new URL. So before it was enterprise.servingintel.com. Now we're looking at genesis.servingintel.com, which is where we're at here. And actually, I'll sign out because I want to show you the login screen. This works. Signing in is a lot more seamless now too. Along with everything else about the Genesis platform. But when you sign in, if you're already logged in through single sign-on or through a Microsoft app on your computer, really all you need to do is hit sign into Genesis, and just doing that is going to bring me in since I've already signed in to my other Microsoft apps that I have running right now. So all I did was click on sign into Genesis, and boom, I'm here at my last site that I was on, which is the senior living demo. So we're going to take you through some demo data here. But yeah, so what you're looking at is the Genesis platform. Top left to bottom right is kind of how the flow works. So left to right on the top row, then left to right on the bottom row there. And it all starts with the census, right? So you can't do anything with a resident until they're actually moved into the community. And that's what the census is all about. This is your resident list. As you can see here, the different things that we have related to census would be Genesis Voice, which is our phone system, Genesis CRM, which is kind of managing of the resident list, the API tied to your resident management software like a Yardi, Point Click Care, RealPage, those type of programs. But then just moving along, so there's census, here's control, things like housekeeping, facilities, managing of like service tickets, service cases through a module where residents can put in like a service case for maybe they've got a light bulb that went out in their apartment. And so that would be like part of the facilities module. Then we've got workforce, which is all about employees, time and attendance, labor scheduling, and there's actually a team member hub. And then we can also manage payroll out of that as well. Next thing up is companion. We've got resident assistant. So this is like direct digital AI assistant for the resident. They can download an app on their phone. They can talk to it, ask things about events going on in the community, menu related questions, really anything, even outside of that, like world related. If they want to know what the weather is like in Portugal this time of year, they could ask that. Kind of a direct AI companion. Oh, go ahead, Josh.
This one will also branch into any type of advertisement that you have around the communities. A lot of you have those TVs that are talking about those meals for the day. This is where you would go ahead and access all of that.
Yes, good call. Digital display is one thing too. Yeah, and that would be companion related. Good call, Josh. Thank you for that. Moving right along, and then we get to dining, and this is kind of our bread and butter where we've lived for the past decade or so. So this is SI360 point of sale in the dining room. SI180 POS, which if you haven't experienced that is more like memory care, assisted living, bedside ordering. So it's kind of bring your own device. Every nurse already has their own tablet connected to the internet. So what SI180 is just basically it's a web-based POS system where they take and go to this URL on the tablet and they can place orders for right now or for later on in today or future orders being the next day or the day after that or a few days in advance if they wanted to. So if a nurse is coming into a resident's room who is on bed rest or bedside and they're not able to get up and go to the dining room, they can go in and take their order for the entire day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, send that order to the printer. Also in dining would be kiosks, things like a kiosk would be for resident ordering, self-ordering. If you have a cafe or a bistro in the community with prepackaged items where residents could come in maybe after hours, like when the dining room's closed and they want a snack, run up to that kiosk, punch in their information to log in, which is usually just their first name and their apartment number. And then they create a PIN number after that. So each time after the first time, they're just logging in with a PIN number. Or even swipe cards we can do, or key fobs if they have an RFID fobs for door access around the community. That's something that that's one way that a resident could look themselves up on a kiosk to kind of self-order something after hours without an employee actually being there. So that's a quick breakdown of the kiosk. And then mobile ordering is the online ordering, which is where residents, or in-room ordering rather, where residents can go online on their computer in the room, place an order for delivery or pickup down to the dining room at a specific time from a specific venue or revenue center. Maybe you have two different dining rooms. You can offer both dining rooms to order from during certain serving periods or all serving periods, depending on the operation. So as part of the dining series there, go ahead, Josh.
And a part of the dining series here, we just went over both 360, 180, kiosk, and mobile ordering. And probably one of those things that you're going to think about as well. I don't have that in my community. All of these are available to be demoed to you before you even jump into Genesis platform. So if you are interested in any of these new products that you've seen today, feel free to let us know and we'll get a demo scheduled for you.
Great call, Josh. Then let's just finish this up. We've got culinary, which are all of your items. So item management, and I do want to get in here and show you kind of the item management piece a little bit compared to what you might be working with right now in ServingIntel Cloud Control. Very similar, but you'll notice a few differences, a little bit more easier on the eyes, and performance is a little bit better as well. In the culinary piece, we've got items, recipes, inventory. And then we move over to Clear Ledger, which is general ledger, accounting, accounts receivable, accounts payable, any banking things related to the business office are done here in the Clear Ledger. And then the last part of it is just Genesis reporting, which is all of your reporting needs. Things like transaction report, individual resident accounts, all of that stuff is in the reporting section. So we'll jump into there too a little bit. Right now in SICC, ServingIntel Cloud Control, we're very limited on what we can send out automatically as far as reports go. But in the Genesis platform, we can take any report and automate that as you need to. So now I want to actually get into the items. So let's go into culinary right now. We're just going to hit launch on that. And basically, this is your whole entire item database, how you schedule items on the menu, put them in different sections of the menu or on different menus, different attributes for the items. If you're familiar with it in SICC, this is going to be very familiar for you in here. Probably look a little bit nicer to you and performs quite a bit better, like I said. So very similar. You've got a search box up here. You can search for any single item in the database or keyword that you're looking for. So if I type the word burger, I didn't even have to hit search. It's just searching. So that's pretty cool. So that tells me that it's doing kind of a live. If I type in the letter S after burger, it will then add that to my search and automatically search that keyword for me. So that's pretty cool. So here's our burger. Type the word burger, it searched automatically for me. Now I've got Beyond Burger, Beyond Meat Burger. Important to have that. So let's just open up this burger item with the little edit icon. That might look familiar, similar to SICC. Oh, what's cool here too is you can actually duplicate an item right from this item. So if I'm adding an item, adding another entree to the menu, and I know it's going to be in the same category, in the same, maybe similar descriptions or similar price, I can just go ahead and hit the copy button right here. And that's going to duplicate that item, but allow me to change my descriptions of the item and then save it. And that's it. So creating a new item off of one that's already in there is very quick, simple, and easy. But let me go ahead and hit the edit icon to open this thing up. And now we've got all this information about the item similar to what we have in SICC, laid out maybe a little bit differently. Web description here, scroll down a little bit. You got your tax flags, your discounts there, descriptions all very similar. Is active, yes. Pricing tab, we can have an unlimited basically amount of prices on one single item depending on the scenario it's being ordered in, whether it's a different venue or different terminal, different employee can have a different price on that item, many different prices. Printing tab, just telling it where to print to. Modifier is what shows up when you actually click on the item on the POS. This is how you program the modifier, so very simple to do that. Again, this is like SICC, all web-based, so no matter where you are in the world, if you've got an internet connection, you can go ahead and access your data and manipulate that data data as you see fit. I'll just move across advanced options. This is where you would schedule the availability of the item. This one is never available, so that means it's not on the menu right now. Just moving over to the web tab, telling it's on the website and that it's available for sale. Even have the where you upload an image for that burger item or that web item right here. Our attributes, which menu or which revenue center does this item belong to, and then does it contain any allergens or dietary restrictions or needs that a resident might have. Last thing would be a label. We could make a label off of any item in the database. This would be more for like the self-serve kiosk like I was talking about earlier. If you have a scanner on that kiosk, a resident could simply log in, grab that item that's prepackaged, scan it on the scanner, and then settle their check right to their meal plan and then be on their way. So that's kind of the idea behind the barcode labels here. Can export them to Excel or PDF, group edit. So if I want to make one blanket change to a couple different items, I can select them here on the left and do a group edit. You can update e-commerce now. So I can update the website. I can just check all the items I want available on the website and then hit update e-commerce, and that's going to go ahead and schedule those items on the website for me, rather than having to go in each individual one, select the availability, check the web, yes, and available, yes. Kind of streamline the process here. We are utilizing AI within every single module of the Genesis platform here. So if you ever have a question or get stuck on the bottom right, you can always ask Rudy. So if you have a question about, how do I copy an item again, or how do I make a new item? You can always go down to Rudy, say, hey, Rudy, show me how to do this, or explain to me how to do this. And Rudy's very helpful within each module here. And I think that's it for items. Over on the left, you can see there is a recipe module in here too, so you could build individual ingredients and tie those to specific menu items in the database all right here as well. And then just going down within that recipe module, here's our ingredients. So this is where you would kind of save all of those ingredients. And we do have a direct connection to the USDA federal database of ingredients here. It's really all I wanted to touch on with items. So now we're going to bounce back to the Genesis launcher. Very easy to get back to that home screen, by the way. No matter where you are within here, you can just hit Genesis launcher and that's going to bring it right here. And so now I want to go into reports. This is something we're pretty proud of here. Shout out to our director of operations, John, who spent a lot of time developing this out. So we've got Command Center here, which is what you're looking at right here. So different widgets you can click on to go to, like, say, your sales dashboard. Boom, right there. I'm looking at kind of a quick snapshot, different widgets, different graphs of my sales for today. In our demo data set, we've done $37.50 today.
And this one will be most similar to your current home screen in Cloud.
Yes, very good call. This is similar to the SICC dashboard, giving you very similar information. Your resident attendance over here on the right. So we didn't shake things up too much with this dashboard. But if I want to go into reports, we'll drop this down and we've got culinary report, which would be things like item sales, meals sold, meal plan utilization, which is really cool. So if you want to see kind of how much of the meal plans your residents actually use and what's being forfeited or left on the table, this gives you kind of a clear snapshot into each one of those meal plans. So let's go ahead and jump into this one right now since we're talking about it. I really like this one. And you can do this. Your search criteria on the top here is by date or by billing cycle. So right now we're looking at the current billing cycle. Let me just bounce back to the previous billing cycle because maybe we'll have some better data in there. And then for scope, so this is important for multi-community senior living operations. If they have more than one community, you can see at an enterprise level the data from every single community all together, consolidated, a summary of that, or you can see them broken down individually on one screen, which is kind of nice. Let's just take a look at what we're looking at here. So this is meal plan utilization, and we've got so far 27 residents, 2 plans that were used in the previous meal plan. The allowance total was $16,250. Again, it's a demo data set, so all of that was forfeited. None of it was used. So just kind of data is not real reflective of what would be at a live community, just for example, and so you can get the idea. This is what they were allowed and this is what they forfeited. Meal plan overages, that would show up right here. So it looks like they went over a total. This is all residents added together, cumulative. They all went over a total of $1,455. Then you can see kind of just the direct billing charges. It doesn't really do a great job in differentiating a meal plan overage versus a charge that always would have been billed to begin with, like a beer, liquor, or wine charge, things outside of their meal plan that aren't eligible for the meal plan. So we kind of have drawn some separation here now. We have meal plan overages. These are true meal plan overages. So if I have $250 in my account to start the month and I went over just 1 penny, that would fall into a meal plan overage. But if I have a direct billing charge on my account because I got a beer or a wine during happy hour, that would actually show up as a direct billing charge and always would be a direct billing charge. Now you can kind of see the difference between an overage and a direct billing charge. charge. And then on the right-hand side, these are point plans. So if you have meal credits or meal points, whatever you want to call it, a point-based plan like 30 meals per month or 60 meals per month rather than a dollar balance, all of those will show up over here. So you can see 60 points allowed, 0 points used, and then we have 60 points left over. So that math checks out. Scrolling down a little bit, now you actually see the utilization of those meal plans. So this meal plan is called IL 650, and this is where we actually see, oh, and I minimized that. So you can open that or close that, kind of depending on what view you want to look at here. So I've closed that, and now I just have the points plan below that, my IL 650 plans now. So here you get a clear visibility on what exactly happened. So the resident name, what their status is, their allowance, how much they used, what they forfeited, and then any meal plan overages. Looks like Oliver Ava's got a bunch of overages. He's got all the overages. That matches up, 1455. And that's the guy that we use for e-commerce demos, so that would make sense. And then direct billing charges, he has all the direct billing charges as well. So this guy is going crazy spending in the community. He's one of our favorite residents. That's meal plan utilization. Let's go in some of the other reports. Let's go to sales and transaction report. This one is something that most people that use ServingIntel Cloud Control are familiar with. It's a very popular report, very similar to what you're seeing in SICC. Pick your date range. You can actually take this and go to a specific week of the year or month of the year or quarter even, it looks like. So search options there for you. This gives you a little summary up at the top, payments total and how many rows of data there are. Let's go to the beginning of July. And again, I just clicked on the date. I didn't actually have to hit run or search. It just did it automatically for me. So a little bit of a time saver there. So just like before, we've got different columns. You can search, sort, and filter within each column. Click on the specific check number. This is where it gets really cool. So before, you only kind of saw that exact guest check, like up on the top left here of this new pane that opened up. And this is all you had visibility to when you're looking at the transaction report and actually clicking that transaction. But now you actually have all of the data within that physical guest check snapshot there on the right. You got all of that information kind of broken out. So who was the resident? What is their actual customer number? Who was the server? What table were they at? And all of that good stuff. And then scrolling down, you can see kind of the payment breakdown. This was a total direct billing charge, $43.13. None of that went to meal plan because if you look at it, this anniversary package is probably something that's not included in their meal plan. So they got charged directly for that. It looks like you got a discount too. It was. So if the resident wants a hard copy of it, print it right to your office printer or save it to a PDF, send them an email, whichever way they want it. Oh, another thing that's cool here too is exceptions. Any account adjustments that were outside of a sale in the POS, if you do a manual adjustment for a charge or a credit, all of that is going to show up in here. So this is pretty cool. These are all negative adjustments, it looks like. So this is all transactions within a meal plan. Every single transaction that's within a meal plan or meal plan eligible is going to show up here. And then everything outside of a meal plan, like beer or wine is the most typical example, those would all show up right here. And then you can search transactions, by a keyword, by a resident name, by their apartment number, by their meal plan if you want to. So this is how you schedule reports. You go to schedule, click on reports. Now we've got every single automated report that we have in here. So if I want to add a new automated report, say I want the transaction report every day, I'm going to hit new. Here you go. Item sales scope, selected site. We're doing just the site for yesterday. I'm just doing the transaction report. Uncheck everything here. Scroll down to transaction report. Leave that one checked. So now we've got transaction report. Every day I want the report for yesterday. So I'm going to leave it on yesterday. We'll say don't include the adjustments. I don't care about resident resets. And then the details tab, you have options here for transactions and payments. Only the transactions or only the payments. We want everything. So we're going to do both. Yep. To make sure we capture every transaction in the community, we're going to select everything down here in the revenue center section. And then we can actually send a test first. Here we go.
This is where you can set when it goes out, who it goes out to. So that way you can send it to whoever you need.
So we just sent off that test. We can save this schedule now. And now when we go up, we have our scheduled report right here. And we can always, if we want another one of those, maybe different recipients or anything like that, or change a few things about it, maybe different revenue center, we can just copy this report to go ahead and create that same exact schedule again and then kind of edit it from there. Or this button here is just a manual run right now, or you delete it right there with the little trash can. So that is a quick breakdown of the transaction report. And I did actually receive that report that we sent out. Here it is. So here's the body of the email, attaches the Schedule Genesis reporting package. And then here's what the report looks like. Report summary, exceptions, transactions, payments. Cool. And with that, I think that's going to be a wrap on this video for today, unless Josh, any final words or parting shots? I'll drop the screen share.
If there's any interest in whether even if it's only like one of these modules or you just want a little bit more further detail on how this can help your community, we are accepting demos for anything in Genesis reporting as well as anything in our actual suite of either 360, 180, e-commerce, we are available for you all at any time.
I want to leave with one thing here, Josh. I want to just get your overall feeling of the Genesis platform versus SICC.
The reporting is second to none. This is probably the best reporting that you're going to find, not just in the industry, but in any type of POS system, not just food. The reporting is just truly amazing.
Absolutely. I would totally agree with everything you just said. And I would even take it another step further. Like the item management is a lot more concise and consolidated and just a lot easier on the eyes. But the performance, like pulling up your item list, the speed at which it does that, the speed at which it saves things now too, is just a big difference and one of the benefits too. So I think we will leave it there for today. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate your time. And I'll see you around.
Thank you, Colt.
Thanks, man. See ya.